Hey everybody, Sickness here again to talk to you about what I bought and what I watched today. Picked up 4 new titles from one of my local thrift stores today. Let's take a look at what I got. The first title I picked up was the soundtrack to Boogie Nights. Listen to this one a little bit. It seems to be kind of hit or miss with me. There are some decent songs in here. There are some songs that I don't really care about. It's a lot of, disco, all the music that you heard in Boogie Nights. Which, I don't have anything necessarily wrong with that music, but it's not necessarily my type of music. But still, I had the movie, had to pick up the soundtrack, got it for $1, great deal. The next time I picked up, I was very excited to get a hold of, and that was Power Rangers S.P.D. Volume 2 Stakeout. As I've already said many times, I'm really getting into Power Rangers. I just started to get into them last year, really digging them. I didn't really grow up with Power Rangers. I was a little bit too old for them, so I just started to get into them, and I'm really, really liking them. I do like the older seasons more, but even the newer seasons, I'm still enjoying. These are actually pretty difficult to find because a lot of the earlier seasons were only released to VHS, so they're kind of hard to find. And even when I come across the DVDs, I can get these still new offline and stuff, but I'm not paying, an arm and a leg for them. So when I come across these for pretty cheap, used a lot of times, they're completely scratched up because, they are for kids. Kids don't take good care of their DVDs. But this was perfect condition, not a scratch on it. Excellent. Another good thing, got this for only $1. The thrift store had all their CDs on sale for $1 today. And I guess the lady ringing me up thought the DVDs were on sale too. Rang it up as $1. I kept my mouth shut. Got this for $1. Great deal. And then I saved the best for last. For a total of only 25 cents, I picked up a double feature set on VHS of the Amityville Curse and Amityville The Evil Escapes. Now I already have Amityville The Evil Escapes on DVD, but the great thing about this is the Amityville Curse has never released a DVD. So to come across this on VHS in such good shape too. I mean, this is in perfect condition. All the tapes look great. So to come across this, get it for only 25 cents was a fantastic deal. I've yet to see the Amityville Curse, so I'm definitely looking forward to checking it out. So that's it for what I bought today. So now into what I watched. And today I checked out Best Defense on good old Laserdisc. And I'm going to put this down because it's gigantic. I was pretty excited when I first came across this movie. I saw Dudley Moore, I saw Eddie Murphy. I thought, sounds like a great team up. Definitely looking forward to checking this one out. Unfortunately, they don't actually share any screen time. Eddie Murphy doesn't even really play a major role. He's just a guy we kind of come back to every now and then. He's driving a tank around. That's it. He's a very much a side story. We don't really see a lot of him. You just kind of go back to him for a laugh here and there. He doesn't really play a major role. He's a very minor character in the movie. The movie's more about Dudley Moore, which I'm a huge Dudley Moore fan, so I'm still, for that alone, I'm still digging the movie, but unfortunately, it was pretty mediocre. It's a story that we've all sort of seen before. I mean, I've seen this plot in movies about 100 times. What happens is, Dudley Moore, he works for, a defense company. They have some, it's just some, gyro thing that helps coordinate missile launches. And actually, the missiles are coming off the tank that Eddie Murphy's driving around. So that's sort of how you get Eddie Murphy tied into the movie. So he has this gyro thing, and it's not working. They can't figure it out. Some other company apparently makes one, but they're going to sell it to the Russians. There's this guy who's going to steal the plans and sell it to the Russians. He ends up running into Dudley Moore, and there's this other guy who's going to kill off the guy who's going to sell the plans to the Russians, but he sneaks the plans into Dudley Moore's suitcase. So Dudley Moore gets stuck with these plans. Some guy ends up finding out that he has these plans after he puts it in the computer, and they go, "Oh, you're the genius." Everything blows up. They think Dudley Moore's a genius now because he came up with this correct gyro, but what ends up happening, obviously, is, like I said, the plans were from some other company, just snuck into a suitcase, so he really didn't come up with all this, but he's sort of taking the credit for it, because everybody's thinking he's a genius. So obviously now, the Russians and everything, they're going after him. They want him now because he has these plans, and he's taking credit for them, and they want them to sell it to him, and yada, yada, yada. So now he's running basically from it's actually one guy who isn't even Russian. I'm not quite sure. I think what ends happening is this guy wants to buy the plans, and then he wants to sell them to the Russians. I'm assuming that's what happened, because the guy who's going after Dudley Moore and who's going after the other guy, he's not even Russian. So this guy's going after him, trying to get the plans all from Dudley Moore and shooting and yada, yada, yada. It's basically just a big kind of misunderstanding sort of thing. And that's the whole basic plot. It's not that exciting. It's just Dudley Moore trying to run from these guys while everybody else is praising him and loving him, thinking he's some genius. And every now and then we go back to Eddie Murphy driving a tank around, and the tank's falling apart, and it's not, the GPS isn't working, and the tank's going all over the place, going crazy, and they're driving through people's houses and all this stuff, goofy wackiness going on there on Eddie Murphy's side. So that's basically the entire plot of the movie. It's not really that exciting. Like I said, I mean, it's sort of like a mistaken identity movie, kind of. Not exactly. You're not really mistaking his identity. You're just, he's just kind of getting mixed into this whole like, gyro defense mechanism thing that he didn't mean to get mixed up in. So it wasn't that exciting. The comedy was not really there. It didn't have much comedy to it at all. I mean, you could tell at times they were really trying to make you laugh, but it really wasn't much to laugh at, unfortunately. Every now and then when they go back to Eddie Murphy, he would do something funny here and there, but he wasn't all that great. Even when they went back to him, his lines and what he was doing, maybe a chuckle here and there, but he really wasn't all that funny either. He was a little bit more annoying, actually, in this movie, I thought. So in the end, it was very mediocre. Like I said, I was kind of upset that Dudley Moore and Eddie Murphy didn't actually share any screen time together. Seeing as they're both on the cover art like that, I just sort of thought they would, but they didn't. So when I say see the movie, if you're a Dudley Moore fan and you're an Eddie Murphy fan, I'd say it's worth checking out. It's not that the movie was bad. I thought the movie was okay. I just didn't think it was anything great. It was just, again, very mediocre. Something to see, but in the end, will you want to watch it again? Not necessarily. I mean, that doesn't really have much replay value. You'll probably watch it once and be like, okay, I'm good. I saw the movie. Maybe years and years and years down the line, I'll want to check it out again. But for now, I personally have no interest in really seeing it again. I saw it. I'm happy I saw it. So like I said, I would say the movie was mediocre. It was okay. It's worth a watch. Again, if you're a Dudley Moore fan, you're an Eddie Murphy fan, sure, check it out. Maybe give it a rent if you can find anywhere to rent it. I guess something like Netflix or something might have it. So I'd say give it a rent. If you come across it for pretty cheap, it might be something to add to the collection, because it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't a bad movie. It was decent. I would say, yeah, again, check it out. But like I said, in the end, it just wasn't all that great. It was mediocre. Nothing you're probably going to want to watch really ever again. So I can't say I necessarily recommend it per se, but if you are a fan of Dudley Moore and you are a fan of Eddie Murphy, it is worth checking out. Just don't be expecting anything great. So that's it for what I bought and what I watched today. Definitely looking forward to watching the Power Rangers DVD. As I said, I'm really getting into Power Rangers, so I'm definitely looking forward to checking that one out. Also, I can't wait to see the Amityville Curse. Yes, everything pretty much after the first Amityville movie went downhill. They're not really all that good of movies, but I've still seen most of them, so I'm definitely looking forward to checking that one out, especially since it's never been released in DVD, so can't wait to see that. As far as Best Defense goes, like I said, it was mediocre, it was okay, probably worth a watch if you're really into Eddie Murphy and Dudley Moore, but in the end, it just wasn't anything special. I can't say necessarily recommend it, but I can at the same time say I don't recommend it because it was okay. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to see what I bought and what I watch tomorrow. See ya. I love all the different seasons I've seen thus far. I mean, the earlier stuff's obviously better, but I'm even enjoying the later. Oh, fucking hell.